Hi there Gemini, here is a general look at your solar chart for May 2013, and there's going to be a couple of eclipses this month. This is the end of a long series of eclipses involving your sign and your opposite sign Sagittarius since 2011, well really the end of 2010. This month is going to be a solar eclipse on the 10th of May in Taurus, which is the sign before yours. That's tucked away in a background area of your chart, but if you've got an important point in Taurus in your natal chart, if you happen to know that, or your rising sign, or indeed in any of the fixed signs, that's to say Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, then there can be change, particularly in that area there. And this is an energy of change that the eclipses bring, so you can choose the type of way you want to use that little sort of packet of change energy. But the eclipse that's particularly interesting for you is the one on the 25th, which is going to be in your opposite sign, Sagittarius. So some of you, if you've been humming and hawing around a relationship maybe, or if it's been like an evolving or changing situation regarding a relationship, could be a personal, intimate relationship, might not be, might be a working type relationship, might be both in fact, because it might be more than one relationship, then this final eclipse could have you sort of taking a step in the direction that you ultimately want to end up in, or indeed clinching a deal, or indeed sort of shaking hands and agreeing to differ, or whatever it is. That's really quite an important one. But the goodies in the pipeline, you get you've got Jupiter in your sign a little while longer. It's been there since last June, but you're getting this lovely lineup which kind of culminates on the 28th of May, so sort of put that date in your diary there. But really the energies are very nice from sort of just after the eclipse, 26th, 27th, 28th, till the end of the month, but the sort of the center of the hotspot is on the 28th of May. That's when Mercury and Venus get together, that's when Mercury, Venus and Jupiter get together. As I say, those are very positive, beneficial, potentially beneficial energy. It's like, you know, the sun comes out from behind the clouds. So if you've got something lined up for later in May, something important even, try to set it for that day there, because that day there is a very expansive energy, and there's some yeah, good vibes with that one. So anyway, this eclipse energy will tend to affect you very early Geminians, sort of born right in the beginning of the sign, right, or right towards the end of May and just the very beginning of June, affect you the most, but in fact it will affect all Geminians. But that other stuff that I was mentioning between Mercury, Jupiter and Venus, that they're all lining up very nicely for you in the later part of Gemini, but the whole of the sign will benefit, but particularly you children of the twins, you Geminians born in the later part of Gemini, so sort of saying past just before mid-month June onwards. Now for this month, until the 21st, the energies, as I say, a bit sort of more indrawing, a bit more sort of introspective, a lot going on maybe behind the scenes within you as well. You could be getting on with lots of stuff, but it's in kind of a preparation mode, or within you things are in sort of a preparation mode, and it's a period for you to be a support there for others. It's a period for you to look after yourself more as well, so definitely draw about that boundary line and just pop yourself in a little bubble of light if others are sort of stepping on your auric boundaries, because it's a time you can get more easily sucked into other people's stuff. Having said that, it's a great time for art or spiritual work or healing work, you know, things like yoga and Tai Chi and meditation, and working within a little group of others behind the scenes on something. That could also be a way it works. But definitely this is this is a karmic house that the Sun is in, and Mercury and Venus and Mars will be there as well. So for different amounts of time. So, you know, it doesn't, you should be a bit preoccupied. You should be a little bit kind of, you know, one eye looking in, one eye looking out, you know, in this realm, in this material world, and then in another place. So very self-reflective energy. And then from the 21st, it's a powerful time for you. The Sun comes into your sign, and it's a great time of the year for reviewing, taking stock, but also, particularly this year, with that nice lineup that I said to you, and the eclipse, excuse me, things, the path opening, you being allowed to be more self-indulgent. Of course, you absolutely have permission. There's a big banner across the sky that says, you Gemini, it's your turn to be self-indulgent. But also the path opening up to whatever your interest is, wherever your goal is, wherever you're, you know, whatever you're aiming at, for you to pursue in those directions. Yeah, it's good energy from the 21st. Now, before the 16th, Mercury, your ruling planet, is working from these deeper levels, the same as the Sun, is more introspection going on, you zoning out sometimes, because there's a lot going on inside of you. Sometimes you can feel sort of like certain things are hanging in the air, you're not quite sure, you're weighing it up, you don't quite know. So that's what I mean about things going on inside of you. But also you could be in some private little bubble, some sort of little environment with others, and it's a good time for any kind of healing activity, whether that's for yourself or whether that's for others. And definitely trust your guidance at this time, and move beyond whatever it is that's getting in your way. And then from the 16th, you'll probably have a stronger outward focus, stronger mentally outward focus, busier schedule. Things just begin there to start to speed up. You're more in the present now. You're not so much away, although you still are. And you could be coming and going more, meeting and greeting more. And because of that, you can get a bit scattered. Communications will be important, education will be important, but get a bit scattered. So just be careful. Just take time to you know, chill out and just sort of breathe and be. And then from the 31st, conversations tend to have a more practical slant, and resources like money and property and possessions are very much the subject of your thoughts, correspondence, paperwork, you know, going on online, those kinds of sort of material, physical, basic stuff, and buying, selling, renting, leasing, all of that could be more in your head, in your mind, and how to capitalize on things, how to improve things, how to capitalize or create assets. And of course that means your own natural gifts, Gemini, as well, because this is the house of talents, and that's your talents in your solar chart. And Mercury's going to be here for a long time. It's going to be there until August the 9th. Now, Venus is in a more background area until the 10th. That means that you're more likely to have to do things on behalf of others. You want to, in fact. This is the house of higher service, been there since in the second half of April. And sometimes you've just got to be a little bit, you know, out there sometimes when you're not in the mood. In certain situations you'll be more inclined, though, to kind of take a step back, keep your feelings to yourself, be the quiet support there, maybe, or maybe you're taking advice on this or that or the other. Another way this can work is that you're thinking about someone close to your heart, and but you feel it's not time. This is very much a preparation area that Venus will be in until the 10th. It's a kind of little you know, behind the scenes kind of area, but in the meantime you can do beautiful healing things for yourself, but also for those that you love. But definitely it's an artistic area, it's a sensitive area. Allow your imagination to flow and your intuition to guide you. And then from the 10th, the planet of love and material success, potentially, Venus, comes into your sign. And this is great. This is where Venus is going to be when we get that wonderful lineup later on in the night, in the month, or it could be later on, I suppose, in the night as well, later on in the month. Well, you never know your luck. And Venus is in your sign, so that means there could be treats in the pipeline. This opens the way for, you know, good stuff to be blowing in your direction, and you feel, you know, better in your skin. This is time for a bit of a makeover, to get buy yourself something nice, or indeed just, you know, let others plump up your pillows and give you presents, of course, because it is your birthday month after all. Well, not your birthday month, but from the 21st it's your birthday time, so, you know, we can stretch a point. Artistic license, but now I'm wasting time here. So you could be feeling a bit more self-indulgent, and that's great. Just be careful, because you might be putting your hand in your pocket though a little bit more, because this energy of Venus kind of opens the flow of material things, money, so doesn't have an opinion which way that flow is going, if you see what I mean. So you may want to embellish, you may want to, you know, it could be centered around property, it could be centered around possessions of various kinds. So some nice things could be coming in your direction. You could do quite well with Venus in this area of your natal chart, and the flow of abundance hopefully will be coming more in your direction, but particularly towards the end of the month. Until the 31st, Mars continues in a sort of this incubation area that the Sun was in until the 21st, and Venus was in until the 10th, and Mercury was in until the 16th. But remember, energy follows thought. So you can, if you set your intention, you know, you can do a lot from this background area, but it doesn't really facilitate you to be, you know, burning the candle at both ends, all singing, all dancing, you know, fingers in all the pies. It's not a good time to be doing that. It'd be a good time to be doing that from the end of the month onwards, particularly from the 31st with Mars, but I would say from the around about the 27th onwards. So go in for restful type activities whenever you can. Allow yourself more space whenever you can. Ponder, mull things over, weigh things, but definitely get busy behind the scenes, and be decisive, but behind the scenes, very much in this preparation mode, in this chrysalis. It's a bit like the butterfly in the chrysalis. Huge amount going on with that caterpillar turning itself into a butterfly, but when you know, it's invisible, it's usually hidden under a leaf somewhere, or if we do turn up the leaf and we do see it, we've no idea what the heck's going on in there. So it's a bit like the outside world doesn't really have any idea how much is going on in this background area for you, or indeed we can take that another step and say within you. So this is a good time maybe to square up to some home truths about certain old patterns which always have you falling down the same old hole in the road. Don't get sucked into that. Don't get it sucked into other people's old patterns either, and you will be fine. And then the butterfly launches from the 31st, although I think it will start to launch a little bit earlier than that, but definitely really gets the energy, starts to get the energy up from the 31st onwards when Mars enters your sign. So for you very early Geminians, you'll probably feel that a little bit earlier, say from about the 27th, 28th, and that means that your energy and decisiveness begins to increase, your confidence starts to come up, and activities just start to get sort of more hustling and bustling around you, and because of all that, you get clearer about things. You want to get the ball rolling, or indeed the ball is rolling and you've just got to keep up. Mars is very much about initiating new beginnings, so you feeling more dynamic, physically active, maybe getting into a health program or an exercise regime, who knows, you might, but definitely a time for more leadership, more initiation, more pushing forwards with whatever the the aims and ambitions are. Just don't be hasty though, because Mars can be a little bit impatient, and then you regret, you know. So just don't be hasty. Sleep on something before you make the final, you know, decision, and watch your step as you go forwards. Jupiter in your sign, and just a little while longer until later on in June, has been a real growth spurt in your life, giving you the chance maybe for more travel, more connecting with foreign lands, getting into new territories of interests or activities which are maybe unfamiliar to you, so you've had to learn a lot as you've been going along, and just try, don't trust to luck, and overlook important details, and expand too far too fast. You Geminians born between the 6th and the 16th, or with 16 to 25 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most. Then Saturn is in a very much service-orientated area, a sort of a workaday, mundane to-do list area, and it's also the area I call the stitch in time saves 9. So what you do under Saturn now, in that hard-working, very sort of practical area of the solar chart, you will be so glad you did later on down the line. So generally it does mean harder work, and perhaps giving more service, more assistance to others, and keeping things ticking over, improving things on a basic sort of maintenance level as well. Time for you to plug away at learning useful skills, time for you to apply yourself in useful ways. And you Geminians born between 25th to 30th of May, or with 5 to 9 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. The outer three planets, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, don't change that much month to month, but if you want to know how they may be affecting your sign and which part of your sign they may be affecting, then just go to my website and you can find that there. And that's it for May. So if you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to the forecast for those, and it'll give you a different slant on what I've been saying here, and you can sort of add them all together, and I will see you the next time.